Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and we have something that is just absolutely unbelievably exciting to take a look at today. We have our third Jurassic Justin figure ever. This is from the Cinema Collection. You can also see it as an exclusive series and a limited edition, and this is actually going to be the sub-adult Scorpios Rex. We have taken a look at the adult Scorpios Rex in the past. Now we're checking out the sub-adult, which is insanely exciting, especially because I'm just so hyped to see the two of them together. But you can see as far as the box art goes, if you recall the original review of the adult, it's very similar. The box art looks pretty much the same as far as the Cinema Collection goes, and you would expect that. But it also means that the box art is absolutely gorgeous, as we have that kind of like door type look here. And we've got the Jurassic Justin logo as well as the Cinema Collection logo right there. And then up here on the top, if we turn this around very carefully, you can see again, Cinema Collection, exclusive series, limited edition. You can also see that my box was beat up a little bit during transit. And then here on the back, you get a sneak peek of the sub-adult Scorpios Rex, as well as some information on Jurassic Justin, the line, everything that's going on, as well as upcoming lines that will be releasing from Jurassic Justin in the future. So let's pop this amazing looking box open and check out this fantastic Scorpios Rex figure. So as soon as you open the box up, we've got some paper and stuff in here, hiding our Scorpios Rex in here very nicely. And there is our figure right there. Let's get the box out of the way. And let's not forget that we have a base here. You can see the base is in some plastic. Very professional packaging, very well done. So as soon as we remove the base from the packaging, man, is that ever beautiful. You can see that we yet again have that really cool kind of like a shot of almost like the visitor center as it's kind of grown in and everything. We have part of the When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth skeleton here, the T-Rex skeleton that was included in that and had unfortunately been destroyed thanks to the Rex throwing the raptors in it. You can see we have a piece of that sitting there. The base looks phenomenal. And then of course we'll take our Scorpios Rex out. And then here is our sub-adult Scorpios Rex. And it looks absolutely gorgeous, exactly as you would expect it to look. Wow, that articulation seems super smooth on this one. And you can see basically what the Scorpios Rex looks like right here. Again, very similar looking to the adult version that we've had in the past, but definitely at a much smaller size. And I would imagine different coloration, but we'll have to bring the other one in so that we can really compare the two. But it looks absolutely beautiful. So let's jump straight to a closer look at it right now. So taking a look here at the head sculpt of the Scorpios Rex, you can immediately see that Jurassic Justin has done a phenomenal job on the sculpt as well as the paint job of this figure. You have beautiful looking scale detail, honestly, everywhere in the head sculpt of this Scorpios Rex. It looks gorgeous as far as the scale detail goes. And you can also see that there's like a lot of varying scales, like different sizes of scales. Just tons and tons of work was put into this Scorpios Rex by Jurassic Justin. Really nice detailing there in the eye socket area as well. The eye is painted beautifully with a nice red, then a yellow and a black pupil. It sports a very realistic gloss coat. You can also see a nice gloss coat there in the nostrils, which is pretty cool to see. Something that not everybody does, but I always think is a very realistic aspect to a figure. I always do it when I repaint figures because I just feel like it adds a nice element of realism you otherwise wouldn't have. And then of course, we have tons of articulation from our figure, but you can see that the jaw is very nicely articulated, and you have some amazing looking detailing there on the inside of the mouth as well. Look at how beautiful that is. And we have some nice dark purplish tones on the inside of the mouth. Really nicely sculpted tongue as well. And you can see the detailing up there on the top of the inside of the mouth is also incredible. And then we have some very nice looking teeth sculpted out, and the teeth all genuinely look about as realistic as it gets. Very nice, very realistically sculpted teeth, and you can see as far as the appearance goes, they're just kind of all over the place, which is exactly how the Scorpios Rex looks in Camp Cretaceous. So he did a great job of capturing that chaotic type of a look, that obviously like a failed experiment type of a look for the Scorpios Rex here on his sub-adult version. And that articulated jaw is super, super smooth. As you lead up here to the top of the head, you can kind of see like some scoots running up over the top of the snout. As we lead up here into the top of the head, we have more really nice looking scale detail, as well as a plethora of quills that appear up here on the top of the head. You can see that they start very small and increase in size quite drastically as we reach the back of the head. As you lead down here, you start to see like some osteoderms and stuff throughout, as well as some more really nice looking skin detail with the different scales. And then you can also see quite a bit of like wrinkling and creasing throughout as you move down, and even a little muscle definition, I would say, in the neck is also really nicely sculpted out and highlighted. And you can start to see that kind of almost like armored scoot-like appearance running along the back of our Scorpios Rex here. You can see it picking up really small as it obviously increases in size quite drastically as you move along. And again, really, really super smooth articulation in the neck of this figure. It is really incredible how nice the articulation is. You can also see again osteoderms galore as you move through the body of the Scorpios Rex, as well as some more really nice looking scale detail throughout. Leading down into the arm, you can see a really nice cluster of very vibrant scales right there as you move down. Also some nice muscle definition in the arm, and then as you continue to move down, you've got some more kind of quills hanging off of the back of the elbow. The elbow itself is also nicely sculpted out, and then you have a really nice forearm moving down. You've got some more scoots running down, kind of like scoots right here on the top of the arm. And again, look at how vibrant the scale detail is. It is really, really nice. Like, it absolutely pops on the sculpt. And then you've got that very nice looking hand sculpt, very creepy looking hand sculpt with the really cool looking finger sculpts there. Nice scoots down the fingers as well. And you can see the nails are sculpted to look very sharp, very realistic. Again, showing that this is clearly an adult collectible and not a toy. And you can also see they are painted very nicely and also sport a gloss coat for an added extra bit of realism. And I really love the coloration of this because it's primarily like a really dark tone, like a blackish tone, but he's added some beautiful elements of greens to it because the subadult has more of a greenish look as opposed to the difference in the adult, which we will see here very soon. And he's captured the appearance and the coloration difference, I think, pretty much perfectly here on his version. As you lead back into the stomach, you see more really nice looking skin detail, and again we can articulate it to see a little bit more of the stomach. And you can also see as far as down here in the lower part, there's like a really nice dark wash or a dark base color, and then he's dry brushed over it. But either way, you can see that the skin detail is highlighted very nicely, very realistically through the entire figure. As you move along, you continue to see that kind of armored like look to the back of the Scorpios Rex. More really nice scale detail, some more osteoderms and stuff as you move through, some more kind of skin wrinkling and creasing right there. You can see more nice muscle definition here in the rear leg, and he's done such a great job of painting the figure in a way that all of the detail just really stands out. And that's one thing that I'm always a big fan of when it comes to the Jurassic Justin line and all of the models he's released so far, is how good the paint jobs always are on his figures, and there's no exception with this fantastic subadult Scorpios Rex. As you move down, you've got the kneecap right there. I like how he's added a little extra coloration there to the kneecap. Some more kind of that like lightish tone of the underbelly you see on the knee right there. Nice muscle definition yet again in the calf. As you continue to move down, you see a little hint of that coloration there in the back of the leg as well. And then you have those nice scoots running down the foot of the dinosaur down into the toes, and you again have the really nice paintwork of the toenails. And I love how he has them kind of like a black, but then they taper off to kind of like an off-white, or maybe it's a light blue, it's hard to tell, but it's super nice. The transition is really smooth, very realistic paintwork, and again we have the gloss coat to top everything off. Such a professional paint job and appearance. It really is as high quality as it honestly gets. And then as you lead up here, you can again see the tail looks great as far as the scale detail. Again, you could just see how nice and how vibrant the scale detail is. This was obviously a very high quality material that Jurassic Justin had used for these Scorpios Rex figures, and it really shows and pays off here on the final product. And you can see as we move out, you continue to see all kinds of detail leading out here. The length of the tail, as we lead out here, we have again another cluster of those quills up here on the top of the tail, as well as the point there, that kind of almost stinger there on the end of the tail of our Scorpios Rex. And then here on the underside, you can again see what I was talking about before, as far as like the really nice way that he's highlighted all of the detail here on the underside with that lighter tone, but then the darker tone that creeps in and out of every crack and crevice of the skin texture here on the underside of the Scorpios Rex. And you can also see, just moving along the underside, how much work he has put into the sculpt of this. Again, he did not skimp out anywhere. It is unbelievable looking as far as the detailing goes here on the underside. Really nice skin texture. You can see some really nice kind of tough looking, very large skin texture there in the chest region of the Scorpios Rex. And then of course everything over here is going to pretty much look the same as it did just a moment ago, because you're not really going to see too much difference on an articulated figure like this, because it's really up to you to pose it and display it how you would like. But you can see again the eye paint is absolutely perfect. Also, I failed to mention that we have a really nice gloss coat there on the inside of the mouth to add that extra bit of realism. I was just noticing the gloss coat on the eyes again, and again it reminded me of the fact that we have that nice gloss coat there on the inside of the mouth as well, and on the teeth actually, just to make sure they shine very realistically as well. But you can see as we move along here, everything just looks so beautiful on this Scorpios Rex. Definitely as beautiful as the adult version looked, and again looks great on this side just like it did on the initial side. So we'll check out the base quick, and then we'll bring in the adult to look at with the subadult. So here we are with the base. You can again see the floor here of the, again, visitor center type of an area, and you can also see that we have some earthy areas that are kind of creeping in from the side, because obviously in Camp Cretaceous the visitor center is abandoned. It's really grown in and everything in that film from Jurassic Park, and you can see that he has portrayed that perfectly in the base, as we have kind of some nice like mossy greens and stuff, and you also have some browns to give it that sort of muddy type of a look. And the actual floor itself is super realistic looking as far as the paintwork. He's applied quite a bit of different tones of color to that area to make sure it looks really realistic. And we again have that earthy type of a look over here, as we have the T-Rex skull here kind of embedded into the mud and earthy area, and you can see the skull itself is beautiful as far as the detailing goes. It really is super highly detailed, about as highly detailed I would say as the Scorpios Rex itself is. And he's also applied some really nice paint work, really dry brushed the detail out perfectly on the T-Rex skull as well, just like he did with the Scorpios Rex. And you can again see every angle of this. It looks phenomenal. You can even creep through the skull itself here, again, as it sits on the base. So the base is as beautiful, I would say, honestly, as the Scorpios Rex is, and I can't wait to put the Scorpios Rex on here just to see the two together and complete the entire scene. And then we've got the two together, as we have the adult and the subadult Scorpios Rex here, and you can immediately see how similar they look as far as the sculpt goes. Again, I would say they look very similar, but obviously smaller when it comes to the subadult than the adult. But you can also take note to the fact that Jurassic Justin really did his homework when it comes to creating differences between the two, not just the size, but you can also see the tones of color are different, as the subadult has a much more greenish type of a look, whereas the adult has more of like a dark black bluish type of a look. So there is definitely some difference in coloration between the two, but man, do they ever look amazing. And I am beyond excited to have both adult and subadult Scorpios Rex figures here now in my collection, completing the entire family here of Scorpios Rex. And I'm really intrigued to kind of get them down here to take a look at them standing and see the two together. So let's do that right now. So before we actually do that, I did fail to mention initially when I brought the base in that there's a little peg. You can see the peg is clear, so it doesn't obscure anything. It doesn't look obnoxious or out of place. There's also a little hole here on the base, so you slide the peg into the base, and then you take your Scorpios Rex, who has a little hole on the underneath there. Let's find it. There it is. You can see in like the groin type area, and then you just have to apply that peg to that area. There we go. We have it on, and I'm thinking now that what I should have actually done was taken the Scorpios Rex off of the base entirely, put the peg into the Scorpios first and then into the base, because that was actually really hard to do from back here, was to find that spot with the peg and everything. It would have been a lot easier to find the peg hole in the base rather than the Scorpios Rex. But anyway, it's a little late for that, as we now have it up on the base, and I love the fact that that Rex skull is included, because I just thought about putting it in this position as I was putting it onto the base, and I absolutely love this positioning for the Scorpios Rex. And as we move back and we try to keep the adult at a lower height here to try to show how big they are compared to each other, you can now see what the size difference is between the adult and the subadult, obviously showing a totally different age for the two. And honestly, they look amazing here together. I actually don't have the adult on its base currently, but the base of the other one would obviously lift the adult up a little bit higher, similar to the height of where the subadult currently stands. But you can definitely see, again, there is a pretty drastic size difference between the two, but both are, again, gorgeous interpretations of the Scorpios Rex. And honestly, at this point, I don't think I'd ever need another Scorpios Rex again, because I really don't see any other figures getting any better than these Jurassic Justin versions. Now, as far as the articulation goes, you, as usual, have the articulated jaw, which we've already seen, actually, and you can see how super smooth it is. You also have articulation in 2 spots in the neck, so you've got one right here, and then you also have one right here, and this also allows you to kind of go up and down all over the place with the neck. So you have all sorts of movement and all sorts of articulation you can get in different poses in the neck. And then you also have the shoulder right there, really smooth. Also, you can see the elbow working with me here. So you've got the ability to kind of very realistically move the arm. And then you also have the wrist on top of everything, which works really smoothly. And again, you can move those joints all over the place. You also have the midsection articulation, which can go left, right, so you've got the ability to do that. And you can also go down, you can also go up, so you've got some nice movement there. Then you have the hip articulation, forward and back very nicely, as well as the knee, which is also really smooth. And then you can also articulate it right here, again, forward and back as well as down here in the ankle, forward and back, to create some really nice poses and stuff for your Scorpios Rex if you want to have it running. And then you've got quite a few joints here in the tail, so you can articulate the tail very nicely to, take whatever position you would like, and it works really smoothly, again, as long as you position the joints correctly. It looks super nice, really smooth as far as the articulation goes and the way it works. So lots of articulation as per usual on your Scorpios Rex. As far as a size goes, when it comes to a length, you were looking at, in the position it is, the tail's not totally stretched out, actually. I kind of like it like this. I don't know that I really want to stretch it out. But there we go, we stretched it out anyway. For a length, you were looking at about the 13-inch range, or around 33.5 centimeters. It actually might be a little over 13, approaching 13.25 inches. And then for a height with it on the base, in the position it's currently standing in, you were looking at a little over 6.25 inches, heading towards 6.5, or about 16 centimeters roughly. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Peppo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line, next to our absolutely gorgeous Scorpios Rex subadult version from Jurassic Justin. And you can see again that this version obviously isn't near as big as the older one, the adult version, but it is equally as beautiful when it comes to the sculpt and paintwork. He really did do another amazing job on this version, and I feel like this size comparison not only helps to show you the size, but also helps to show you the quality of this figure, because it just looks like it's so much of a higher quality than pretty much everything else we see here standing with it. And then for anybody that is a fan of articulated dinosaurs and might have some of the Beasts of the Mesozoic figures, we've got the Dromaeosaurus here next to our Scorpios Rex. And you can see that they're kind of similar in size, but the Scorpios Rex is definitely a little bit larger. It's probably hard to tell, actually, from the angle we have here, but you can definitely see that the tail of the Scorpios Rex is a little bit longer. The body mass is also a little bit more impressive on the Scorpios Rex, but they're not too far off as far as the size goes. Still a little bit smaller when it comes to the Dromaeosaurus. And then when it comes to another version of a Beasts of the Mesozoic figure, we've got the Zuniceratops from the Ceratopsian series next to our Scorpios Rex. And you can yet again see that the size is definitely a bit larger on the Scorpios Rex compared to the Zuniceratops, but I did want to bring in the Zuniceratops because it seems like probably one of the most popular of the Ceratopsian series due to the smaller size of it and the cheaper price tag. A lot of people went for that figure, so I thought that would be a good one to bring in as far as like an articulated dinosaur next to our Scorpios here. And then for a final few random comparisons, we have a Collect A, Schleich, and Safari LTD figure here with the Diabloceratops, Dimetrodon, and Eutyrannus next to our Scorpios Rex. Just in case you have one of these figures, that might help you. Maybe if you didn't have one of the others that we've already shown, this might help to give you, again, another pretty good idea, I think, of the size of this subadult version of the Scorpios Rex, as a lot of dinosaur collectors would have at least dabbled into one of these three brands at some point, and hopefully will have at least one of the three figures here to give you an idea of the size of our Scorpius. So this brand new sub-adult Scorpios Rex from Jurassic Justin is absolutely gorgeous. Just like the adult version was, this thing is phenomenal. The sculpt is super highly accurate to what you see in the film on the Scorpios Rex. Like, I honestly don't think it gets more screen accurate than what we see here with this Jurassic Justin version, as again, it looks like he pretty much grabbed it straight out of the screen and pulled it here into model form for us. So as far as screen accuracy goes, it's off the charts, but also just generally the detailing is phenomenal. All of the detail contained throughout is really vibrant, really crisp. It's a super high quality print job from Jurassic Justin on this Scorpius, and you can see he's only used the highest quality material possible for this release yet again, like he's done with every release in the past, which helps to, I think, show just how dedicated and impressive the Jurassic Justin figures really are, and how much work and time and money he puts into his releases, making sure if you order from him, you are definitely going to get top of the line. And on top of being really crisp, the fine detail is impressive because there's a ton of it, showing off so much really nice scale detail, skin wrinkles, all the stuff you would like to see on a highly detailed dinosaur model is present here on this Scorpios Rex. And the paint job is phenomenal as well, as we have just tons of really nice coloration throughout with all different sorts of tones of like khakis, light browns. I can even see some pinkish tones in certain spots, sort of in like the jawline and everything. You have blacks and greens, all kinds of coloration to make sure this has a very realistic and lifelike looking paint job to match the equally as impressive sculpt. And then on top of everything, when it comes to a Jurassic Justin release, one of the best parts is the amount of articulation, and you are just overloaded with articulation on this Scorpios Rex, as there is just tons of it like you would want to find. And again, all of the articulation is incredibly smooth, maybe somehow even smoother than previous releases, and works again perfectly. No matter which way you put your Scorpios Rex, you're able to pose it there perfectly and create pretty much any diorama you would like when it comes to displaying the Scorpios. And then on top of that, you also have the base, and I love the base. I love the fact that it's kind of like the visitor center sort of grown in and has the Rex skull there. It's pretty much exactly as you see in Camp Cretaceous, and the way that the visitor center appears, it's pretty much exactly what you would want for a base for this dinosaur, because it's a perfect scene to kind of try to recreate, and Jurassic Justin did that perfectly with, yet again, another really high quality sculpt on the base, as well as a beautiful, very realistic paint job. So unfortunately, I believe this is now officially sold out. Both waves have sold, and I actually think potentially already shipped. Obviously mine shipped, but I don't know if all of them have. But regardless, this figure again is now sold out. So unfortunately, the Scorpios Rex figures are behind Jurassic Justin, and he is now moving forward with plans for a ton of other really cool releases that we just got a sneak peek of not long ago, probably about 2-3 weeks ago. He gave us a sneak peek of what he has in store for us as far as the different species and figures and everything. And there's a lot coming from Jurassic Justin, so make sure you keep paying attention to Jurassic Justin on Instagram, where you'll find out everything that he is working on. And of course, I will keep you updated as well throughout the future in news videos. Whenever it comes to anything Jurassic Justin, I always include the news in the news videos for everything that he is releasing, so make sure you check all of that out. Again, if you don't want to miss that stuff, if you want to know what's going on with Jurassic Justin, follow him, or make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can follow along on all of the news videos that I upload to let everybody know. And make sure you grab anything that he is going to be releasing in the future, because if you do, again, you are getting one absolutely amazing model, just like we've seen here with these two different Scorpios Rex figures. So make sure you do all of that stuff. I'll include links in the description to Jurassic Justin, again, on Instagram, as well as his Etsy shop. Make sure you follow that as well, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.